Yeah, that guy. And, yeah, we are getting back into some Total War after being off of it for several months. We're both going to be really rusty, so, you know.
Well, I've been playing Troy, but it's very different.
So, you're familiar with sort of the gameplay style still, but, yeah, I'm coming in from just playing a bunch of Vermintide mostly, so we're going to see how this goes. Right now, I'm waiting for a Mr. Pudding to end his turn.
Hey, I need to remember what I was doing in all my cities.
I know, I was checking things out too, just going, what was I doing here, there, here, everywhere? Okay. Where are you? Kalakadorfhead!
Kazoom type?
mm. Okay, water is good.
It's a great plan. Mammoths everywhere.
Mm. Besides the upkeep, that is an amazing plan. Though, you don't have to pay regular mammoths. You just have to feed them. So, unless it's a war mammoth that actually has like a crew or something with it, I think you're good on the money.
No, you still have to pay an upkeep cost.
Mm. Holy crap. I am a heavy drinker today. I can't get enough of that H2O. Oh, Dara.
I was gonna say, do you have something to admit to?
Oh, yeah, man. I have an addiction to water. I admit it freely. I feel like I'd die without it. I'm almost as addicted to water as I am air.
I don't even know where my main army is.
I don't know either. I assume that it's fighting the Empire right now, which stubbornly refuses to die.
Yeah, I remember. I have Throg and Wolfric over here, and a big old 20 stack of the Empire came, and I've been dealing with the elves. And
Wait, you dealt with a 20 stack of the Empire?
oh no, it's not Empire. It's
Bretonia. Yeah. Savage Orks, I appeal to you to attack these suckers. Oh well. They won't listen to me. I yawned. And that looks like you might have a little chaos. Oh, no. I think that Chaos Rebellion's probably with the Isle of Wights. Yeah, it's in their territory. Mercy, Doommonger.
and now it's your turn.
Well, it looks like... Oh, they successfully hindered my guys. That sucks. Holy crap. This is a lot of crap. Alright. Excuse me. Holy crap. Breathe. Okay. Sure. We'll get some missile resistance on there. Can I? Yes. Let's start raiding these suckers for everything they're worth. Which, you know, is a fair amount. Nice. Where's Agus so weird?
launch detected.
Okay, let's see who's dying about what right now. Oh. Okay.
I bet I know one person who texts you.
I think I might just know. I might just know. Okay, so Grimgore Ironhide. No, I think it's fine to talk about that on stream. XLPuDDing and I were thinking about doing a fire tonight. You know, just gonna go burn down some random building and roast marshmallows. I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely just kidding. No, we're going.
Man, we're not rioting.
No riots here. No riots. Oh, the morning might be doing a little bit of that. But anyway, yeah, we're thinking about doing a fire tonight. I don't think we have any marshmallows, which is actually kind of sad. Yeah, but
We have marshmallows.
oh, wow, nobody does. And yeah, we were just thinking about doing that. I don't know. It probably depends on when we end the stream if Elisa feels up to it and if y'all still feel up to it.
It's kind of up to you, really. I mean, we can end this whenever and whenever you want to start, if you still want to.
True. Absolutely true. So, I honestly don't know yet.
Okay.
Okay, alright. Dread aspect. Okay, gonna take you out of March. And who's the one who's in siege? Is it you? Yeah, it was you. Okay. Well, oh my gosh, how many times have I killed Volkmar the Grim? I don't even freaking know, but I've killed him so much. Whatever. Do I want to fight this right now? Because according to it, it's not going to be a crushing victory. It'll probably take a long while. Yeah, I'm just going to auto-resolve this crap. I don't feel like fighting it. Okay, lost. Ooh, I lost some black orcs. Ow, they were elites, too. Ouch. That is a burn. I lost one squad of trolls. That's not such a big deal. And a couple squads of boys. Alright, well, besides the black orcs, that was tolerable. You know what, I'll just occupy. Stop the war. Deadly onslaught. Okay. Holy crap, yawning much.
Sounds like you're the one that's tired.
Yeah, I know. Alright. I should have done that before. Is this thing gonna work? Come on. Wismund will be mine. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Get to the dang freaking city. Okay. You follow me. Altdorf. So I think I just captured the capital of the empire.
Altdorf?
I think that's the capital of the empire. Am I wrong? I don't know. If Jake were here...
Altdorf is definitely the capital.
It is the capital? Okay. Alright.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, you're kicking the Empire's booty. Holy moly.
Yep, I've been driving a stake right through their heart. Only problem is they've got little pieces here or there still intact, so there's like so much mopping up to do. It's freaking ridiculous.
What is even our campaign victory?
I have no idea. I never checked.
Between you and your co-op partner, raise or conquer at least 140 different settlements, because we've already done the other one.
Okay.
We're at 89 out of 140.
And that would be enough to score victory?
Yep, that is a co-op victory.
Oh, okay then. Alright, so I have a spare army, which is actually, like, exceptionally rare.
If you think about how much territory you own, it's pretty massive, so, I mean...
It is true, and considering that it does require considerably more before victory, and I'm allied with you, and having an ally like you, that would be a big deal.
Well, if I was a more power-based early game, it would have been easier, but...
Hey, man, you know, there's nothing wrong with a long game. You know what? Actually, Krugenheim. I want to send you towards Krugenheim. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then you'll move up towards a flanking position. Chaos is still just sitting pretty right up there. Not sure what they're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and move this army down towards Middenheim and see what happens and have these guys back them up. Just in case factor. Alright, and then you, let's see. Kislev. Oh, it's its own castle. Yeah. It's about the only one the Empire has still up here, but it's a big threat so long as it's here. So it does need to be taken care of. This is my last army currently in this position. I don't know. I think it could do it. We'll see. Oh. It could potentially... Oh, they don't have much of a garrison here. Yeah, I'll just auto-resolve this crap right now. You know what? It's going to wipe out a couple units if I do. So the question is, do I care? You know, I could definitely turn this into a good battle. I think I can win this without too much effort, because they've got, like, what, 2 squads of crossbowmen? Yeah. I take down 1 gate, I win.
All right, man.
I don't feel like losing a couple of squads to that garbage. Stupid auto-resolve. Come on. Load. Load. Oh, holy terror.
Now that's pretty funny. On the Warhammer group, there is a question that says, are there any gay characters in Warhammer 40k? And one person replied, of course there is. There's a whole god dedicated to all sorts of sexual / whatever.
Plus, no one can decide the gender of that god. The Eldar believe it's female. The Emperor's children believe it's male. Like, no one can figure out its gender. Is it non-binary? Is it, you know, is it transgender? Is it both genders? Is it one or the other? No one knows for sure. So
yeah, pretty much verbatim it goes, why is this even a question? There's a whole chaos god dedicated to pleasure, lust, and access. The god is also transgender. What the hell more is required?
Serious. It's like, and you know, I don't even know for sure that it's transgender. For all we know, it could literally be Both genders. All gender. Whatever. Like, everything you invent, it automatically could be. Why? Slanesh is why. Like, how is that a question? Okay, anyway. And I am going to go ahead and throw those at you as well.
I always get the things that are like pointless in siege battles. Oh no.
No, you're getting them too. They're not pointless.
Oh, yeah, it's just the cavalry, that's all.
Giants aren't cavalry.
No, the boar riders, they're so meh in sieges.
Yeah, but you take down one gate and you're inside the walls. That ain't meh. I've done that when you gave me your units multiple times.
Oh, I know. It's just with Troy, they went back to having like the city in the middle of a map, and you can surround it on multiple sides, and cavalry become more useful and stuff.
Oh, so you're missing that. Oh, I see.
In Warhammer, every city, no matter what, seems to be in a corner, and you only have like 2 ways in.
Even when it's bloody underground. Oh. Okay. All right, are you ready to start?
Yep, we can go for it.
All right. Let's do it. Is beyond entertaining that these are Doom Diver catapults are freaking goblins riding bats to their deaths.
Yep, and they willingly get on the catapult.
It's not something they're coerced into. This is something that I guess they're having fun with. Right before they literally die. Oh gosh. Come on. Oh, see? You got some gates before I even knocked down these, whatever you want to call them over here. Okay, guard up. So, have you been following the Angron Primarch week on Wolf Lord Rose channel?
I have no idea who that is, so no.
Dude, do you know what Angron was supposed to be before he essentially got screwed over into landing on this planet?
Before the butcher nails and everything?
Yeah.
Nope, no idea.
Yeah, essentially what the Emperor created him to be was nothing like what the Butcher's Nails turned him into.
Well, and then he chose to keep the butcher's nail.
No, it's a little more complicated than just choosing to keep the Butcher's Nails.
Oh yeah, if it were removed, they were like gonna kill him or something.
Well, the Emperor at one point did try. I mean, the Emperor had him on a table, and was attempting to figure out how to have the butcher's nails removed. Only problem is, you know, he brought in Arkan Land. Arkan Land was a, what do you call that guy? He was essentially the Belisarius Cowl of his time. He didn't respect the rules of the Mechanicus in, like, trying to inhibit the growth of technology and crap like that. And he absolutely, like, gloried in inventing and coming up with technology. Well, more like with rediscovering technology, because he was the one who rediscovered the standard template construct for the Land Raider, which is why it's called a Land Raider. It's named after Arkan Land, which actually bugged the living crap out of him. When he found out that they were calling it the Land Raider, he was like, that's not its name. But he couldn't convince them to not call it that. Anyway, yeah, see? You're like freaking all the way in there. Though those cavalry are being hit pretty hard by those spearmen. Anyway, oh yeah, he brought Land in, the Emperor did, just to discuss the Butcher's Nails, because Land was the only one the Emperor knew of who actually had knowledge on the nails. But Land, when he looked at it, he's like, yeah, there's no way these can be safely removed without killing him. And so, I don't know how much more the Emperor tried, but he ended up giving up at some point.
So here's my question. Supposedly the Emperor, you know, all-powerful, created the Primarchs, genetic scientist, brilliant man, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're telling me he couldn't?
You know, I have a hard time believing he couldn't either. But I also know that Angron wasn't that, like, Angron did not... Angron viewed the Emperor as just another slave master. I'll put it that way. He did not care for the Emperor. He actually hated the Emperor from the get-go. From the moment he met him, he ended up hating him because the Emperor took Angron from essentially what was going to be his death battle. Angron was going to get to fight and die by the side of his brothers and his sisters. And there was nothing more that he wanted. He'd been a slave all his life. He was tired of being a slave. And they were all going to die. He was all going to die. And if the Emperor couldn't save them, which the Emperor couldn't, then Angron didn't want to be saved. And the Emperor actually did say, then for that I am sorry. He actually did say, I'm sorry. Like, but when the Emperor brought him up to the ship, this is the stupid, retarded part that I blame on the author. When Angron was brought up to the ship and actually spoke face-to-face with the Emperor, because he got teleported up right out of the battle, Angron was just like, you could just send your troops down right now and wage war on them. It's like, you could do that. What reason did the Emperor have to not do that? Not one was listed. It wasn't like, oh, I've only got a token force with me right now, or anything like that. He gave no reason. He just said that he wouldn't do it. And he didn't give a reason. It was just the dumbest thing. And it was like, if the Emperor, supposedly all-knowing, all-powerful, all-intelligent dude, isn't going to do something like that, you've got to have a freaking reason.
Also on a crusade to bring all of humanity under one banner.
And he didn't conquer that planet. It's like, Angron's homeworld, he didn't bring it to compliance. He just went there for Angron, and all of a sudden, nah, we can miss this one planet. It's like, why? At the very least, bring it under compliance. But no. The Emperor didn't even do that, as far as I know. And I have no idea why. It could be, this would be a legitimate reason. The Emperor had sensed that Angron was in danger. And so he plunged his fleet deep behind enemy lines. Like, you could say that, you know, he was behind hostile lines. He was actually outgunned here at this planet. The Emperor could not achieve victory here. And he could have told Angron that. And it would have been a legitimate reason. It's been like, I'm sorry, Angron. If I commit forces here, we'll all die. It's like, I cannot do that. I sense that you were in trouble. I came here to save you. I'm sorry, I cannot save them. And I can't bring you vengeance right now. That would have been a legitimate reason. And I would have absolutely accepted that. I've been like, that's dark. That's depressing. That's sad. But it's legit.
And then come back later and wreck the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, just be like, hey, I have a legion I'm giving to you. An entire legion. Train with them. Be with them. They are of your blood. They are genetically your sons. It's like, learn them. And once they are yours, take them back here. And conquer this world. And holy crap, at the very least, he would have given Angron a legitimate reason why he couldn't stay and fight. And he would have promised him vengeance. Just like, I'm giving you an entire legion. And when you've trained with them and mastered them, come back and burn this place to the frickin' ground. It would have been perfect. But the author just needed for Angron and the Emperor to get off to a bad start, so they did it stupidly. In my opinion. That's something Wolflord Rowe never points out. He always speaks positively of the author. He always, you know, lays down praise at their feet. And on one hand, I can kind of understand that, you know, to a point. But on the other hand, I'm like, legitimate criticism is sometimes very deserved. And I just don't think Wolflord Rowe is willing to give out that criticism, even when it's so painfully, obviously deserved. So, that's just something that ticks me off about Rowe.
Well, not just about that author.
Okay, alright, you know, Wolflord Rowe isn't actually an author, but he talks about their books a lot. But, yeah, when he reviews them, he doesn't point out anything that they do wrong. And that bugs me about him. But, yes, I hate these authors for leaving out so much. And it bugs me that while Wolflord Rowe is great at pointing out what they do right, he's terrible at pointing out what they do wrong. And I think that's just because he wants to do a positive spin on things. And I get that, you know? People want to hear positive stuff. But at the same time, legitimate criticism should not be overlooked. And that's just gonna bug me about Rowe. Otherwise, I like him a lot. But that's... Ugh.
So is that all his YouTube channel does, is review books?
If he does anything else, I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. Can assassinate... Let's see. Yeah, I'll try to do that. Better chance of it working. Yeah, as far as I can tell, he just reviews book. He actually reads off passages from the books, and he always gives a spoiler warning first every time and tells everybody, hey, the best way you can, get this is to actually read the book. And it's really cool that Wolflord Rowe does that every single time. I feel like he has good consistency there. He's always giving people proper warnings. But, yeah. Oh my fragging Terra. I forgot. I have an invisible warlord at Wolfenburg with an entire freaking army. They're just invisible. I forgot about that little detail. It's Azhag. Azhag the Slaughterer. I can't get to him.
I do remember this.
I forgot about Azhag being invisible at Wolfenburg. I've got a whole army just sitting there with Azhag the Slaughterer, and I'm paying upkeep for them, and I can't access them. Anyway, just getting back to it. Angron...
Can you see their unit cards?
No. Whenever it says that Lord not moved, and I click on that, a split second, Azhag's, you know, that thing when you click on the army that goes to pop up. For a second, it tries to pop up, and then it goes right back down before I can see any of the units.
As I say, if you can see the unit cards, you should be able to just disband the whole army.
I wish. I absolutely wish. Anyway, Wolflord Rowe, though, he reads off passages, and he narrates like a master. Like a master. I love listening to him. And it's tragic what Angron was supposed to be. Because before he has the butcher's nails implanted, you find that out. You find out what he was supposed to be, what he could have been. And the Emperor legitimately seemed ticked when he found out. He literally projected it into Angron's head. What have they done to you? And from those lines alone, it's just like, I know you're not literally getting anything out of that besides... Sorry, I was distracted trying to read something. I know that's just text, but personally, the way the Emperor phrased that, I'm just like, yeah, I feel like the Emperor was genuinely horrified by what had been done to Angron. And one of the reasons why I think he felt that Angron had been broken. And that genuinely horrified him. He was just like... I mean, maybe they could have spun it that way and been like, the Emperor felt like Angron was now a broken tool, and there was next to no point in trying to fix him, which, if they went from that direction, then they could be like, he didn't want to appease Angron in any way, and so he just gave up. But it's like, why though? Why not make some effort, even if it's meager? Why not just a little something? I just don't understand why he wouldn't. Anyway, Wort bad. Oh yeah, I had him come here earlier. You know what? I'm just going to have him march up here. And I think I'm going to call that good. Alright, end of the turn. Oh, anyways, so, besides that, though, okay, so the point I was getting at with what Angron was supposed to be is when Angron first, he is first made a slave, and he wakes up in an arena, in a pit filled with other slaves, and Angron immediately feels kinship with the other slaves. You think, well, that's pretty weird. Angron's a bloodthirsty, violent brute. You know, stereotyping Angron. It's like, why would he feel kinship with the weakest of the weak? Oh, what do these Skaven want? Big bodies, tiny pathetic brains. We help you with scheme plans. Where are these guys? As far as I can tell, they're so far away, I don't give a crap whether they live or die. So, unless they're willing to give me a lot of golds... I'll settle for 600, but that's as least... Nope. You're not willing to give me 600? I don't want a non-aggression pact with you. I'll conquer you later. Okay. When he was actually put into the arena, though, he was essentially put into arena to fight these very people he felt kinship with. And they were essentially on a pyramid. They were all stuck onto this little pyramid. There was a pool of acid slowly rising around the pyramid. And at first, all the slaves were helping each other get away from the acid. But then there was less and less room for them. And then the slaves started fighting each other for survival. As eventually, you know, one or more of the slaves would... like, the very first time Angron saw one of them die, he saw a human fall down into the acid. He felt their death, and it hurt him. It hurt him for them to die. Just think about that. This is Angron we're talking about. To watch that human die, it caused Angron pain. And then, as it went onward, and and more of them were dying, it finally got to the point where now he was having to fight the other slaves to survive, to get further up the pyramid. And that's how that was going. They were in a battle with each other at that point. And finally, it was literally the very top of the pyramid. And this is even adolescent Primarch. This is practically like young child Primarch. But he is so strong by this point, not even the strongest man can like fight him effectively. Several of them all try to take on Angron in their fight for survival, and he beats them all. And at this point, it hurts Angron, because at this point, he's having to kill them. But he's trying to kill them in the most painless way possible. Their pain causes Angron pain. And he's trying to kill them so that they suffer the least amount of it. Just think about that. This is Angron we're talking about here. Mate, since when did he care that other people were in pain? And
that is true.
Yeah, it's just like, but this is core Angron. This is original Angron. And finally, Angron's the very last survivor. And he's either killed everyone else or they fell into the acid. And yeah, he's last one standing, and so he's allowed to live. And he goes back into the pits with other slaves, where he will be forced to fight over and over again, and that becomes his life. He just gets forced to fight in these pits. And there just comes this point where he starts to grow some camaraderie with some of them. He starts to get close to some of the slaves. And he even develops a mentorship with one of them. One of them becomes his mentor, which I think actually happens a lot in the novels where the Primarchs are growing up. They almost always get a mentor at some point because they're young. And where with Lorgar, his mentor was completely freaking evil, Angron's mentor was anything but. He was a good man. And there came a point where Angron was given a choice. He was like, kill your mentor. Because I guess they had found, Angron, of course, was special. He was growing fast. He was stronger and slowly getting bigger than all those around him. He was becoming an absolute powerhouse. And they essentially said, kill your mentor or there will be consequences. And Angron absolutely refused. So they took Angron and they, as punishment, implanted the butcher's nails in his head. And, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna move this witch a little closer.
It definitely doesn't seem like the Angron I know.
Yeah, it seems like a completely different person. You're just like, who the heck is that? Anyway, so long story short is when Angron came to after the butcher's nails had been implanted, he's like still in a daze and he hears the guards talking. Apparently, after the butcher's nails were implanted, Angron was so mindless because of what they were starting to do to his brain that he was mindless with rage. And so what they did is after they were implanted, they had set his body on top of his mentor so that as he, in his rage haze, he literally tore his mentor limb from limb and killed his mentor anyway. And when Angron heard this, he screamed for 3 days straight. He screamed with grief. He screamed with rage. And it's just like, Angron mourned. And it's like, yeah, this is not the Angron we know. I know nothing of this guy. And I love it. And if you think about it, it makes more sense why Angron turned out the way he did. If you think about it that way. The reason why I say that is because every death Every single time Angron kills, even though he's so inured to violence at this point, it's all he is now. Even though that's the case, it still, at his core, causes him pain. So every single time Angron kills, it causes him... Wait, did I lose 2 more squads of Black Orc? Okay, I am officially ticked off. Whatever, too late.
Like I promise I clicked on the right button.
No, not your fault. Yeah, definitely not your fault. That ticks me off. I just... Whatever. Should have actually fought that battle. Didn't think to. I didn't think they'd wipe out...
At least it's not beginning of the game where you can't even recruit them.
That's true. That is true. Okay. Anyway, so it makes sense that Angron is so bloodthirsty at this point, because to for 1 second even conceive of turning back from what he is to try and becoming what he was, he'd have to try and face that pain, and that would destroy him. Also, by the way, Angron didn't choose to become a demon Primarch. He didn't make that choice. Lorgar made it for him.
How did that work?
So, during the battle for the 500 worlds, in other words, when Lorgar was insisted to Horus, he's like, I'm going to go fight Guilliman. He's just like, he would put his foot down. He's like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to go do that. Horus sent Angron with him. And during the fight, during the battles, for that, and Lorgar realized that Angron was dying. The Butcher's Nails were killing Angron. So, Lorgar told Angron, hey, let's go back to your homeworld and find a cure. They installed the Butcher's Nails there. They probably have a way to remove them there. So he convinces Angron to go back there. But the thing is, Lorgar, I don't think he ever had any intention, ever, at all, of curing, of removing the Butcher's Nails, of even finding a way to get them removed for Angron. He brought him there to essentially make a sacrifice of him to Khorne. And that's exactly what he did. And, however, before that ended up actually happening, Guilliman showed up to that world. He followed them there. And he ended up attacking their worlds. Attacking their forces while they were butchering that world. And trying to... he wanted vengeance. He genuinely wanted vengeance on Lorgar and Angron for what they had been doing. Here is on an unrelated note to what was going on with Angron. When Lorgar actually came face to face with Guilliman, Lorgar has always believed that Guilliman hated him. He's always believed that. No matter how completely idiotic that notion is, he's believed that. But when he saw Guilliman on that world, when he actually saw him and saw that Guilliman, he saw the hatred in Guilliman's eyes, Lorgar for the first time realized Guilliman had never hated him. But now he hated Lorgar. And it was a shock. It was an absolute shock to realize that Guilliman had never hated him. And, it took him off guard. And when he realized that, he was desperate to explain himself at that point. To try and justify his actions, I think, to Guilliman. But Guilliman didn't give a crap by that point. Guilliman actually hated Lorgar by this point. He didn't care for anything Lorgar had to say. But one of the reasons why Lorgar was lamenting was because Gilliman kind of trashed his plans to, I guess, get Angron to lose his mind and get bathed in blood or whatever, something like that. I think that's how it worked. I haven't actually read the book yet in that regard. I've just listened to Wolf Lord Rowe in that manner. And yeah, from what I understand of it, that was the reason. Anyway, Angron, however, Lorgar I think is beginning to lose his fight with Gilliman when Angron bursts through and starts duking it out with Gilliman. And there's a whole other part to Gilliman and Angron and their fights. But the thing is, you remember how I told you that the Emperor denied Angron his death with his comrades because they were all fighting to the death at that point?
Right.
Well, Angron had gone and retrieved the skulls of all his brothers and sisters, and he'd hung them around his neck. The reason why he did that was not because he considered them trophies, was because he wanted them to see, even in death, the cities that he promised that he would burn for them. So, and it pleased Angron to a point to actually do that. He felt good inside. It actually made Angron happy to a point to do that. Anyway, during the fight, Gilliman accidentally landed a blow on that string of skulls, shattering them. And that broke Angron. That, like, shattered him.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he went into a mindless rage and just duked it out with Gilliman. And at that point, finally at that point, that's when Lorgar enacted the ritual and got Angron possessed. Oh my gosh, it was brutal. It was brutal, because you know what being possessed by a demon does to you? It makes you a permanent slave. I think I agree with Wolf Lord Rowe on this point. That was the last thing Angron wanted, was to become a slave forever. I think he would have rather died free from the butcher's nails than become a slave. But Lorgar legitimately thought what he was doing was what Angron would want, though it's like, why wouldn't you ask him then?
But with the Primarchs, at least with as far as I know, in regards to the two that have come back in 40K officially, they seem to be completely in control of their demon selves. The Death Guard Primarch and Magnus.
I think, from what I understand of it, Angron's barely in control of himself at the best of times. So, with that knowledge in mind, I don't think he's in control. And I think, yeah, that's one of the reasons. Anyway, the other Primarchs have the willpower to resist the demons within, but because of the Butcher's Nails and the fact that they're still a part of Angron, and the fact that he doesn't have that discipline anymore, and he stopped having it a long time ago, I think that's the reason why it made him a slave to Khorne. Not necessarily to the demon within, but to Khorne.
Well, yeah, ultimately anything chaos is a slave. I mean, that's why Abaddon's remaining human, per se, is because I think he knows that he doesn't want to cow down to any of the four.
Yeah, so he doesn't let any of them become his master. He just... yeah. Anyway, it was just super uber depressing to me when I found all that out. I legitimately thought that Angron was just a mindless brute, but to learn that he was like an empath. Okay, so I forgot to tell you, but it wasn't just that Angron hurt whenever pain was caused to humans around him, but Angron had the ability to take their suffering and draw it into himself. One of the first times he saw a young boy, there was a young boy who was having a nightmare down in the slave pits. Angron walked up to him, put his hand on the boy, and literally drew out the boy's suffering into himself, and then the boy started having peaceful dreams after that. I don't know of another Primarch that has that ability. That blew my mind. And his mentor stared at him and goes, "What did you do?" And Angron was like, "I don't know." But the boy was no longer like having a nightmare. He was sleeping peacefully. And everyone started to actually see Angron as a savior after that. And this was just blowing my freaking mind that this was Angron. This was the Red Angel. This was the Butcher. And he was nothing like I imagined. And yeah, that blew me for a new one. Anyway.
Well, I'm pretty sure Angron might be returning real soon, because I'm almost positive Corn Berserkers are going to get a new kit, and I can't imagine them not getting a new kit and a new book and all that without
the Red Angel.
Without the Primarch coming back, since we know he's alive technically. And all the other cult kits, Noise Marine. Well, Noise Marines have not gotten a new kit yet, I don't think. No, they haven't. But Plague Marines, Rubric Marines, they've gotten a new kit. And there were 2 legions left out of the new Chaos book, which was Word Bearers and, not Word Bearers, World Eaters and Ember's Children. So those are rumored to be the next. We might get Fulgrim and Angron.
Dang! Chaos is about to get... If that is the case, Chaos is about to get a kick in the pant, a fire lit under it.
Yeah, so it'll be Guilliman versus 4 Primarchs.
I mean, there was a time when Guilliman did hold his own against a pre-Demon Prince, Demon whatever, Angron, and that alone was rather impressive, considering that Guilliman has never been considered one of the warrior Primarchs. He's always been, he's been more of a leader, more of a builder of empires and crap like that.
Well, I know he got his butt kicked by Fulgrim.
Yeah, he did. He did.
In the one of the books I got was Dark Imperium, and it retells the whole story of how Guilliman got his throat sliced.
Yeah, I actually have I read that very book. This is weird. Why isn't my secondary army able to participate in the battle? Well, it's too late now for the Prophet to engage. That sucks.
Where?
Down where the border princes are near Mere Middens. Oh, that sucked a lot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and try this. Okay, I'm going to encircle.
Oh, there's Chaos.
Come on. Okay. Now it's letting me use all 3 of the armies. We'll slaughter him. Better leadership. Okay. Now, as Hag, we're going to move you in closer. Okay. Dead odd. 20 plus armor, could definitely use that. Or in mass. Alright. And Night Shroud. Here we go. Sure. What the heck? What did I just do? Okay, it's fine. And whatever, Wild-Eyed. Now you. Let's... Aren't you the one laying siege? Who's laying siege? Oh, is it you? Oh, yeah, it's you. Okay. Alright, and let's auto-resolve this. Okay. Occupy. Oh, that was the last of the border princes. Okay. I am fine with that. They were just a bloody pain in my side. Didn't need them. Okay, it is coming up on streaming for an hour, so I guess we can save on your next turn and call it good there. That good for you?
Yeah, but I think Megan's pretty tired and isn't up for a fire tonight. But tomorrow's would be fine if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that tomorrow, and then we can see about streaming again tomorrow if that works for you when it's actually daylight and all that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm open for the most part. I have to go take a load of the dump with all of the roof stuff that we did, but we'll be good.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That is done right there. I don't think they've got really anything else to do. I'm not at war with anyone else down here. So maybe I can just leave a garrison army behind to keep this area secure and then move 2 other armies back up to help deal with the Empire. Because I certainly got some mopping
What's left of it?
Well, yeah, it's just they're so dang vast, I have a lot of cleaning up to do. Okay. Well, sure. No, that would eat up most of my gold. I don't want to do that yet. Matorka, yeah, sure, I'll upgrade that. And put Watchtower on that. And Ackendorf. Nope, won't be upgrading that today. And Wissenberg. Sure, we will go ahead and give that settlement an upgrade. And, alright, that's the last of my gold. Alrighty. Man, this is just the island of act. Wait, oh, did Chaos successfully beat down the elves in the Isle of Wights? Wow.
Well, I saw Sigvald the Prince or whatever somewhere.
On your island?
No, it looks like he's by Norden. He's by right across from my main capital is the Longship Graveyard.
Oh, on my side. Yeah, I've been following him for a while. They want military access. Do I have any treaties with them? Are you the Gormandi tribe? Hello?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I am not them.
Okay, well... No, I don't.
World Walkers. God, I had to think about that.
Well, they weren't willing to pay me crap, so I'm not accepting any treaties with them. Oh, what do they want with you? Krakatrak.
What do these guys want? They want me to join war with somebody and only want to pay me 300 gold.
Oh, sigh. Who do they want you to go to war with?
The Gorbandin, that's the same people you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, the Gormandi tribe is allied with the Skaven that were just trying to make treaties with me, which is why I asked you. I want to know if you were allied with them already. But anyway, though, yeah, Angron's story is an especially tragic one. I think that had he not landed on that world and everything that happened to him, I think he would have been one of the best and noblest of all the Primarchs. One of the best. And that, to me, just speaks to the depths, the absolute volumes of what Angron could have been and how far he's fallen from grace. That is just freaking tragic. And it makes me like him a lot more. Like, when Horus decided to turn traitor, it was true. He had to get all the Primarchs that sided with him were all the ones with daddy issues. Those were the only ones he could get.
I mean, I liked Angron beforehand, but...
You see, in my mind, he was just a mindless brute, and I couldn't tell him really apart from Leman Russ. I'm not calling Leman Russ a mindless brute. The guy has some surprising depth to him that blew me away. But I was like, we got two Berserker Primarchs, just the carbon copies of each other, sort of like Perturabo and Rogel Dorn, who are also very different from each other. Not saying they're carbon copies or anything, but I just thought, oh, they're just, polar opposites. Leman Russ is just, he's not a mindless berserker, but he does delve deep into that violence and that kind of thing. He's a killer. He's a peak warrior king. And Angron's just a berserker killer who kills for the sake of killing, where that might be true for Angron. However, it's not all he ever was. Angron...
Yeah, that's kind of nice to know.
Yeah, it's very nice to know, especially if anyone could get a chance to communicate with Angron on a deeper level. If they could gaze into him and actually get into his head one day. Because I heard a tale once that at one point during the war, during one of the I don't know where it was, but Angron got to a point where he was actually crying out to the Emperor to save him like a small child. And that was my first glimpse of Angron as something besides a mindless killing machine. And I wanted to know more. I think it was Angron, reaching, becoming that small child who never got connected with his father. There was never any sort of real relationship built between him and the Emperor, which is freaking depressing. But...
yeah, I don't know. It would be weird if he, went back to the Empire.
I'm not saying he would go back to the Empire, to the Imperium, but if he managed to free himself from Khorne and just, was no longer enslaved to Khorne, I think that would be awesome to actually have. And, I don't know. The problem is he'd have to be freed from...
the mantle of the true War Master instead of this crappy Abaddon.
Would that not be... Okay, he'd have to be more than just a mindless berserker, though. I think he'd probably have to be free of the Butcher's Nails. So if he could find a way, while still in Demon Prince form, to have the Butcher's Nails removed, since, you know, that makes him stronger...
I don't know if it would kill him while he's a demon, so it might be possible.
Yeah, if he could have them removed, and then once they're gone, he could then fight the demon. And he could gain his freedom. I believe a Primarch could do it. And a freed Angron, freed from the Butcher's Nails, freed from slavery to Khorne, would be a powerhouse. And I believe he could take the mantle of War Master from Abaddon, or... what if they actually are brave enough to have Abaddon fall, like he dies, or he's horribly wounded, whatever, I don't care, like he's out of the picture, and it's just like,
Hey man, I wouldn't mind seeing a war between Black Legion and World Eaters for War Master.
That would be awesome! And to have, like, Angron go toe-to-toe with freaking Abaddon for that, yeah, that would be awesome. Without Abaddon being able to cheat in any way. Like, without Abaddon having any sorcerer's crap to try and ambush Abaddon with it. And I know he'll still have the blessings of the Dark Ones. I understand that. Without that, Abaddon's not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Abaddon. That just ain't happening. But, still.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I did save.
All right.
So we're good to go, and we can start this tomorrow and
start this back up tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody very much for tuning in. Hope to see you on later. Normally I don't do streams that are this short. Usually I do them longer. I just really wanted to do something today because I was in a funk and in a depression, and I wanted to break out of that. So if you tuned in, thank you very much. I appreciate it a great deal. And in any case, don't get